we going? I think we are. Okay, hello there, and welcome to Turning Point Academy's portrayal of the first presidential debate. Now, everything that is said between the two candidates are not the actual opinions of the actors that are portraying the candidates. They're purely, mostly scripted based on the actual candidates' political views. Now, don't get offended. Try not to get offended, but some of the stuff that will be said was not really. Yeah, that's about all.
The nicest guy in the world.
That's about all we can really say. Please enjoy it to the best of your extent and enjoy. Are we ready? I think we are. Come on, and now let us introduce the candidates. Over here we have businessman Donald Trump, and over here we have Secretary Hillary.
Okay, welcome to the first 2016 presidential debate. We have two candidates, Donald Trump and Hillary Rodham Clinton. Welcome to both of you. You will both have an opening statement, and then you will have 2 minutes to answer the questions I've selected, and then you may respond to each other. So Mr. Trump, let's start with you. 97% of scientists worldwide say that man is contributing to the warming of the earth. You disagree with that. Can you explain that to us, please?
Okay. Climate change. Raise your hand if you've heard of climate change or global warming. Raise your hand if you believe in climate change or global warming. I'm sorry, but you're all wrong. It is a Chinese government conspiracy made up by the Chinese to, basically we're indebted to them, so they don't want, it puts us more in debt because of the factories and stuff. So it's all fake. It's all fake. I was around back when the world was younger, and it was exactly the same. Over the past 50 years, it hasn't gotten warmer. It's the exact same. And Hillary has lied. Hillary has lied about this to make everybody believe that, guess what? Yes, climate change is real. And, oh, yeah. And she's made me look bad because I believe climate change is fake. And it's 100% a Chinese government conspiracy. Trust me, believe me. I've talked to many scientists, many scientists, and they all say that, it's fake. It's 100% fake. It's 97%. That's not true.
Okay, thank you, Mr. Trump. Secretary Clinton.
Climate change is real. It is something that is going on right now, and it can become very harmful if we do not take care of climate change. Climate change, 97% of scientists believe that climate change is real because it is real. 70% of people think that climate change is real because it is real. These 30% of people that do not believe in climate change are being misled by people like Donald Trump because they make up excuses for why climate change isn't real.
She's being very mean, using my name, making fun of my beliefs. Very rude, not suitable to be president. Very rude.
Okay, moving on. Secretary Clinton, in the 1990s when you were First Lady, you tried to pass through Congress universal health care. It failed. What are your plans for fixing the health care system if you become president?
We need universal health care. I plan to tax the corporations and the people like Donald Trump who have not been paying their taxes and close the tax
I pay plenty of taxes. I pay all my taxes.
You have said that you haven't paid taxes and that it makes you smart.
It makes me smart, right?
Mr. Trump.
We need to close these loopholes so that these greedy people who are not paying their taxes will contribute to the economy so that we can allow for the regular person to get access to basic health care, which should be a right. It is ridiculous that there are people who are on the streets who are sick and are not able to get access to basic health care. And that is just ridiculous.
Okay.
Mr. Trump, go ahead.
First of all, very mean. She was saying that I do not believe in healthcare, which is 100% true. But what you have to look at is Hillary in the 1990s. She tried to make healthcare universal, and it didn't work. You look at Canada. You can wait a very long time to get anything done up there. So we're going to get rid of the current healthcare system because Obama made that a mess. Obama destroyed the current healthcare system. Trust me, believe me. All my employees, they're they're upset about this Obamacare because it's terrible. It's terrible, and we're just gonna put it to the insurances. She failed once and she failed twice because guess what? She also endorsed the current healthcare system, which is a mess. It's way too costly and it's a mess. And even her husband says it's a mess. And maybe she's just not suitable to handle the situation.
Mr. Clinton?
I only endorsed the current healthcare system because that was before it became a mess. I plan to fix the current healthcare system by taxing the corporations and leaving it up to the government. If we leave it up to the insurance companies like it is right now, premiums will rise up and healthcare will become unaffordable.
Healthcare is already unaffordable.
Because these insurance companies have been raising the premiums up.
Alright, she doesn't know what she's talking about, obviously. She's failed twice. Believe me, I know. You know, I've known Clinton for a long time. She's failed twice, and even her husband doesn't think that it is a good system.
Okay, let's move on to education. Mr. Trump, education from kindergarten through 12 is considered by many to have failed some kids in the inner cities and has not provided quality access to education for many. How would you fix this?
Oh, me. Okay. So once I become elected, I'm going to immediately put $20 billion into the private schools like Turning Point Academy is. These schools that kids choose to go to instead of these public schools that have a lot less beneficial factors. After that, in the next 4 years, I'm also going to later put on $132 billion in, which, to put that in perspective, $1 billion is 1 million times 100, and 1 million is like a lot. So, and then another thing okay, I'm gonna put it out there. I don't believe in free college because the people that believe in free college, they think that everybody should get to go to college. And not everybody deserves it. Because some kids don't work as hard as the other kids, and I don't think it's fair. I don't think it's fair that one kid that works super duper hard and one kid that doesn't work hard at all get to go to college in the same school. And lastly, I know about all these private schools and how much more beneficial because I grew up and went to military school. And what was Hillary doing? Probably playing with some dirt on the playground.
Secretary Clinton.
He says he knows how to fix the education system while he has absolutely no plan to fix it. He says that he's going to get this money out of nowhere to fix it. Meanwhile, I actually have a plan to get the money. I plan to tax the corporations and tax the wealthy, like Donald Trump, who have not been paying their taxes, so that they can contribute and pay for the education system.
Prove that I haven't been paying my taxes. Prove
You
it.
said so yourself.
Clinton, prove I've... Okay, I said that I've been strategically not paying as much taxes because I have a $4 billion corporation, all right? It's a lot different than your puny little $1 million corporation, okay?
You've gone bankrupt 4 times.
And how many times have you gone bankrupt?
None.
Okay.
Okay, Mr. Trump, Secretary, continue.
So we need to fix the education is a right, and it should be a right. The person now Donald Trump said that the lazy person gets as much as the hardworking person. That is simply not true. The lazy person just doesn't get as good of a life once they're out of college or they never graduate, which means they won't get as good of a job, which means they won't get as good of a life. So it's not true that the lazy person gets as much as the hardworking person. That is simply not true.
Secretary Clinton, he cited that he's going to invest money into charter schools, private schools, and that he went to a military academy, and so that's his basis for knowing that they're better. How do you respond?
He went to the military school because he had behavioral issues. His parents sent him there
That's
because
disgusting.
he was being a bad boy.
You should not bring up my childhood. How about I bring up your childhood? Like, you did a lot of bad stuff, I'm sure.
Like
look,
what?
Look, you didn't do anything with your life, all right? Look at you now. You're just a politician.
I was
Trump.
becoming a lawyer.
Whatever. And you have gone against people that have claimed that people have hurt them very badly. What do you have to say about that? Why are you making the problems worse than they already are?
Why have you been avoiding taxes for the past 18 years?
Because I have a $4 billion corporation that has to pay a lot more taxes than yours does,
You've
honey.
gone bankrupt 4 times. I pay a 37% tax rate. You have been paying a lot less than that.
Prove that to me. Prove it.
I released my tax returns. What are you hiding?
What are you hiding in those emails, huh? She has an email scandal,
Okay,
right,
Mr.
everybody?
Trump.
Her email. Can we talk about it? Please let me talk about these.
Secretary
The emails.
Clinton, we are moving
She had
on
a
to
private email
immigration.
server that she
Immigration
used
has been a
for the
major,
government
Mr. Trump,
information.
Immigration has been a major issue in this presidential election. How would you fix the immigration problem?
We need an immigration reform, but at the same time, we do not need to kick out 11 million immigrants that have came here in search of jobs. Donald Trump has called these immigrants aliens, and he's called them criminals. That is very offensive because it is simply not true. Now, there are criminals, a few of them, but he said that the majority of Mexicans are criminals, and that is simply not true.
All right, first of all, I never said that. I never said that. But I'm going to say that all the immigrants coming in are criminals. They're drug lords. They're bad people. And they're bringing people in, and how we're going to stop this is we're going to build a wall. It's going to be a big wall. It's going to be fantastic wall. It's going to be huge. All right. It's going to be 66 feet high minimum. And every time the Mexican president tells me, dude, we're not paying for your wall, I add an additional 10 feet. They might not want to, but they still will pay for this wall. And we're going to deport 11 million of these people because 11 million of them are criminals. And sure, we might let a couple of them stay because they're doing stuff they're helping us with our economy. But guess what? They don't have to pay taxes. They don't have to work half as hard as we do. And so these another thing about this immigration is which she failed to bring up is the Muslims coming in from Africa. These Muslims are coming in. They're terrorists. They're destroying the economy, and they're hurting people. So what we're going to do is we're going to have extreme vetting, which means we're going to watch them 24/7. We're going to make sure they're being watched and that they're not hurting anybody because every single one of them has a potential to hurt somebody.
Secretary Clinton.
That is simply not true.
Secretary Clinton, he proposes deporting 11 million people. How do you feel about that?
That is inhumane. He has proposed a deportation force to go around knocking on people's doors to make sure there are no illegal immigrants and then kicking them out of this country. Some of them who have been here for probably 30 plus years or who came here in search of a job and a proper education.
Well, if
you just want to kick them out?
Yes, because most of the people that came here, I said I'd leave a couple people, right? I'd leave 1 million people because 1 million of those people I'm sure are good people, but I'm sure a great majority of these people are evil. They're terrorists. They're hurting our economy. They're not paying their taxes. They're not doing anything for our economy. Believe me.
So
I lived in New York City. There's tons of immigrants there. Believe me.
So you're saying that 10 million immigrants are...
No, I'm saying 11 million.
So you're saying 11 million people, 11 million Mexicans who came here in search of jobs are quote-unquote evil?
No, they're not coming in search of jobs. They're coming in search of hurting our economy. They're trying to hurt the United States of America. In fact, we can't stand for that. We cannot stand for that.
So what you're saying is that you believe that every single illegal Mexican immigrant that comes here is here to hurt the U.S.?
I'm sorry, Miss Clinton. I'm sorry. I know you can't wrap your brain around this, but I am not saying that all of them are evil. I'm saying the great majority of them are.
Which is not true.
Prove that to me. Prove it.
Where did you get your information from?
Where did you get your information?
Okay, Secretary Clinton, how do you feel about the proposed 66-foot wall that Mr. Trump wants to build?
We don't need that. We do need strong borders, but we also need to help illegal immigrants become legal citizens as long as they're not criminals. If they're criminals, we need to deport them. But the majority of them are not criminals. So we need strong borders. And when it comes to the Muslim ban, he has proposed a Muslim ban.
Not a Muslim ban, all right? We're just going to heavily monitor all the Muslims coming in. All right? That's very different than banning all Muslims. Very, very different. Twisting my words just like the media does. They take my words and turn them into absolute false lies.
What the media is doing is putting what you say on TV.
Well, why are they doing that? It's none of their
Because that's what you said. That's their job.
I never said any of the things. They all make them up so that I look bad. This is rigged, all right? this debate, this is rigged. This entire election is rigged because guess what? You never hear about Hillary Clinton's email scandals on the bill, which by the way, her scandals. She used a private email server while working for the FBI. It was a terrible, not secure server, and she used it for sending emails for the government. All right, it's terrible. It's terrible. It's terrible. It's terrible. And what have I done? I haven't done anything like that, all right? She is breaking the law. She's hurting the United States citizens, and it's disgusting. It's really disgusting.
Secretary Clinton.
What have you been hiding in your tax returns?
What have you been hiding in those 33,000 deleted emails?
Maybe I'll release my 33,000 emails if you release your tax returns.
Maybe if you do it first.
Okay, that's all the time we have. Mr. Trump, would you like to say your closing statements?
All right. I'd like to start off by thanking everybody for coming. I'd like to thank Mr. Bliss. I'd like to thank all the teachers. I'd like to thank all the students that are here. I'd like to summarize what I've been saying. The healthcare, it's a privilege. It's not an open negotiation. Education, I love education. I love kids learning, and I know the education system's not perfect right now. So we're going to put money into it. We're going to put probably over $150 billion into it. And then we're going to build a wall. It's going to be a big wall. It's going to be a huge wall. Mexico's going to pay for this wall. We're going to make sure we have extreme vetting on these Muslims. And we're going to make sure we're going to spread the word that climate change is 100% and that it's a Chinese conspiracy. Hillary has been sick. She's been very sick. She has been coughing. She's not qualified to be the president. And I'd like to thank you all again. Let's make America great again.
Thank you. Secretary Clinton.
You see, unlike Trump, I actually have plans to pass my proposed positions. He has no way how to work with the Senate. The Republican Senate hates him right now. I plan to work with the Republican Senate and the Democratic Senate to get these positions passed. Trump has absolutely no plan. He has been saying that it's going to be tremendous, believe me. And that is all he has been saying for the past year.
That's ridiculous. I just want to make America great. She is a politician. She has people feeding in words that she should say. And she has people whispering in her ear, hey, we need this so that the government can be stronger. Well, guess what? I'm just doing this out of the goodness of my heart. And she is doing this for the money.
Okay, thank you. That's all the time we have.
All right then. Now, if I'm not mistaken, we have a question Q&A thing at the end. But before we get to that, I cannot stress this enough. Everything that is said here is not these actors' actual political opinions. Most of them are based on the research that we did about the actual politicians' political things. He has note cards here. If you can't tell. Here, why don't we just do this?
We
so
do.
that people
We
can
have
tell.
scripts. This is 100%. So we didn't want to offend anybody. That's why we're telling you this.
Yes. No, but we didn't want to. If you are offended, we severely apologize. We did not mean to. All of this is purely the politicians' political views, and I just cannot stress this enough. Now, with that, I would like to begin the Q&A segment. Any
Before you
questions?
do that, I think we owe these actors a round of applause. They did
And now with that, let us begin the Q&A segment. Do we have any questions at all? Yes.
But they can just run over the wall and they can just get through.
All right, the wall's gonna be huge. All right, it's gonna be fantastically big.
But they still can climb over it.
All right, no, they can't. It's 66 feet high at bare minimum. We're hopefully gonna make it 160 feet, right? It's gonna be ginormous. They can't climb that much, and once they get up there, you're gonna be like, "How the heck am I supposed to get down?" And they're gonna start crying.
Yes, you.
What are you going to do with the footage once it's done recording?
We're gonna use it in videos.
Yes. You way there in the back with the gray shirt.
Why are you making the Mexicans pay?
Because the Mexicans need to pay for it. They are indebted to us. They've been very nasty for a long time to us. They need to pay for the wall to redeem our friendship, and they're just going to pay for it, all right? It's just going to happen. And they're going to want to pay for it because they want to stay away from how mean I am.
Mr. Trump, how do you address the students that are in this audience that may have family members or come from descendants of individuals that immigrated to our United States for jobs? And those citizens are our students could be future taxpayers and future job creators for our United States. How do you address those kids when you talk about sending their family or their parents or their loved ones back when they're here to make a difference?
All right. I'm sorry. I don't want to hurt anybody's feelings, and I'm a little bit out of character. Like I said, not my beliefs, Trump's beliefs. Anywho, back in character. I believe that, I hate to break it to all you guys who have illegal immigrants in your family, but they gotta go. They gotta go. It's not fair to us legal citizens that they get to come here and live with not paying taxes, right? They don't pay taxes.
Yes, they do.
How much taxes do they pay?
8% tax rate.
And how much do the United States pay? A lot more than 8%.
Rich people.
Trust
pay-
me, I had math class.
We have math class.
More than 8%. All right then. I feel like that's enough. Yes, you way in the back with the blue shirt.
Does Donald Trump even know that he can't do it with the rest of the government permission?
All right, the government loves me. All right, the government loves me, and so the government's going to give me permission because they love. All right, we're best friends. All right, they love me. They're going to give me permission, and it's going to be fantastic. It's going to be huge, and you're going to be very, very surprised. All right,
It'll be huge.
huge.
Then we can't
Yes,
go to the
you right
beach
there in
with
front. You
How
in
come
front.
you don't think Mexicans pay their taxes?
Well, I'm not saying Mexicans don't pay their taxes. I am saying that the illegal immigrants commonly from Mexico don't have to pay the taxes, and it's really just not fair. It's not fair.
Yes, we have a large amount on this one. Well, let's just sort of go along here, starting with you.
Oh, like a wall.
Yes. Yes, we get it, Mr. Trump. It's a wall.
How about one for Miss Clinton?
Yes, does anyone have a question for Clinton? You? You?
You should be right about Mexicans that are paying their taxes. Because my brother and my brother's dad are Mexicans, and my brother's dad does have a job, so he does have a house, so he has to pay his taxes, and he probably does pay his taxes because he had his house ever since I was probably before I was even born.
And then Trump says that they don't pay.
I'm sorry, they just don't.
Yes.
All right, we're gonna go on a wall.
Yes. Yes, you?
I say Clinton is right about what she says. Trump just has hideous ideas.
No, very nasty woman, very nasty. She is very mean to me. She must be Megyn Kelly's cousin.
Alright
Wrong.
then. Okay then, we have a surprising amount of
Yeah, a lot of
questions. Yes, you in the gray with the glasses.
Why do you want to be president?
Who, me?
Let's do
What?
Miss Clinton first.
Yes.
Yeah.
Because there are many problems with this country right now, and we need to fix them. We need to have a healthcare reform so that everyone can have healthcare. We need an education reform so that everyone can have the proper education. We need an immigration reform so that people like the illegal immigrants that are coming here have a fair chance and a fair shot at getting a job and having a happy life, which is something Trump doesn't want to do.
Now, for once, I agree with Clinton that America has a lot of problems right now. It is a terrible debt, which has been caused by the past presidents like Barack Obama. He has caused the debt. He has done so much to cause America to fall, and she has done so much to cause America to fall. And so yes, I'm running for president so that I can build the economy up, so that I can help, because I don't think Clinton knows how the economy works. Trust me, believe me, I know how the economy works. I'm a businessman and I work in the economy. You're a senator, so you don't work half as much in the economy as I do.
You went bankrupt 4 times already. Anyways.
Stop bringing that up, because that's the only point you ever make. All right?
No,
At least I haven't.
Okay, can we please?
Okay, so Trump's proposed tax plan is 9% for the poor, 22% for the middle class, and 32% for the rich. That means that will lead to an economic depression, because he will
What do you know about economics? You don't know
will cut the taxes for the rich by 8%, even more.
She doesn't know anything about it.
Even more than what George W. Bush did. In 2008, we had a huge economic recession because George W. Bush cut the taxes for the rich.
She
That
does,
is
she does,
exactly
she does
what
not know
Donald Trump will
economics.
do.
I know economics. Let's go with another
Okay, can we speed this up? Another question. Yes, you in the back there.
I hope Emily knows that she doesn't vote to be Donald Trump.
Yes,
Very nice.
yes.
What's that
Anyways, you with the Minions shirt back there.
Why do you only want to pick Mexican?
Can you speak up a little bit?
Why do you only want to pick out Mexican?
Because they're criminals, they're drug lords, they're bringing in bad things to the United States. Trust me, believe me, all right? I'm from New York City. We have a lot of immigrants, and you see them, and they're criminals, all right?
That's in New York.
In New York, right?
But that's not New York.
Right.
You with the breakfast-looking shirt there.
How do you know that Mexicans weren't paying our taxes? The only way you can know that is if you did live with Mexicans or you had friends as Mexicans. And if you had friends as Mexicans, why would you kick them out? Yeah.
All right, I'd like to answer the second part of your question first. First of all, if I have an illegal immigrant friend, different than Mexicans, there are plenty of Mexicans in the United States legally, but they're different because if I have an illegal immigrant friend, I'm going to say, hey buddy, you got to leave. You're not welcome. Then the next thing I have to say about the first part of your question was that I know that they're not paying their taxes, because if you look at the taxes, you see how much the average white person or the legal Americans pay, and you look at how much the Mexicans pay, and it's so much less. The illegal immigrants is so much less because they don't have to, because they're illegal. Nobody knows that they're illegal.
Yes, you with the red shirt standing up there.
Okay, so I have 2 questions. First off, Clinton, why do people who say trust me and believe me, why are they generally untrustworthy people?
I am so trustworthy. Those are lies.
Wait, no. Oh wait, I forgot my second question. Never mind, go on.
Because they want people to believe them when they are telling factually incorrect information.
Would your 33,000 deleted emails be you not telling
I
the
like
truth
that guy.
of the United States?
Yes, 33,000 deleted. She used a private email server, not the government.
Mr. Trump. Ms. Clinton, I'm going to address you again.
Yes.
Your 33,000 deleted emails, would that be you being untrustworthy while you stood here and said, trust me, believe me?
Well, those emails, they were personal and they were work related, and many of them were probably had classified information in them.
You don't want to
So, don't want to share that with the American public. And what is Donald Trump hiding? He hasn't released his tax returns yet. He said
Ms.
multiple
Clinton, can we
times that
trust
he
you to be honest and open for the United States public?
I'll answer that question for her. No.
Ms. Clinton, can we trust you to be honest and open?
Yes.
How will you demonstrate that?
By being by being transparent. I have released many things that I have not wanted to release about me. I released 33,000 of the 60,000 emails. I mean, that is over half. So I've been in the political spotlight for the past 30 years. There's not that much I'm hiding.
And Mr. Trump, it's been widely known that many of the statements you've made in your different press releases, not just up here on this debate stage, but as you're out addressing the public, are full of falsehoods, and they've been fact-checked and are proven to be lies. How are you going to represent and be honest to the American public if you were president?
All right, thank you for the question. I'm gonna tell you I'm not perfect, and I don't know everything. I just know most things, and so of course I'll have some false things that are incorrect and have been fact-checked to be incorrect. But I try to. At least you know that I'm trying to not cause problems in America like Clinton obviously is, and so yeah, I do have false things, and of course Clinton has plenty of false things she says in press releases. So I think it's bad on both parts.
All right, then we have, I think, we're running short on time, so we're going to take like 4 more. I was going to say 4 more. You in the back with the blue
for
sweater.
both candidates, the First Amendment of the Constitution guarantees the right to free speech, press, religion, the right to petition the government, and peacefully assemble. How, as President of the United States, will you uphold that? Or ensure that it is upheld?
Well, both of us have different religions, and of course, we allow everybody to have their own religion, unless that religion hurts people, like the Muslim religion and the Islam religion. But that's besides the point. I do that because I love the Constitution. I love the Constitution. I use the Constitution so much in my everyday life. And I don't think Clinton does. I think she breaks the law because she thinks it's okay. And because she has more power than the rest of the average American citizens. And I really just don't think it's fair that she thinks she can break the law because she's an American citizen.
And Mr. Trump, you threatened to throw media out of your conferences, which is an infringement upon the right of free press. What do you have to say about that?
They're being very mean, very rude, very nasty. I didn't want to infringe on the First Amendment, but they were being very rude. They were not adding to the discussion. They were just making it worse.
You said that you loved the Constitution, so why won't you follow it if you love it?
Why won't you release 33,000 emails? That's unconstitutional, I think. It is.
Yes. All right, then. 3 more questions. You right there in front, because everyone's sitting here.
There's still lots of other people that are bad here in the United States that are from other places. What do we do?
To the other police as well. When I say illegal immigrants, I don't just mean the Mexicans. I, of course, probably part of those the people that I'm going to deport are not from the those countries. And yes, there are bad people from other countries, but we're having a lot of Mexican immigrants because if you look on that map over there, there's Texas and there's Mexico. Mexico is there's a lot easier for those Mexican immigrants to come in than immigrants from Syria and stuff like that.
All right, then. You in the front, because you've been waiting a while.
I actually have 2 questions. Why do you want to build a wall to keep the Mexicans out? My dad is a Mexican and it's really not fair.
All right. I don't want to build a wall to keep the Mexicans out. I want to build a wall to keep the illegal Mexicans out. Because if you have your paperwork done, if you're ready to move, that's fine. I have no problem with immigrants coming in. I don't have a problem with that. But if these illegal immigrants, they're bringing drugs, they're criminals, they're killing people, they're bad. And so I want to keep those bad people from coming into our country.
All right, then. I think that's like 2 more. Yes, 2 more. You right there.
Why don't you believe that climate change is? Why do you think that climate change is fake?
Okay, it's a good question. Because it's a Chinese government conspiracy. Because I know it is. I wouldn't tell you anything I didn't believe, right? I wouldn't lie because then then my campaign would just get worse, correct? right? So if I were to lie about my campaign, like stuff like that, it would get worse. So I'm not going to say something like that I wouldn't believe in.
Well, who like told you that it's fake?
I told it. I discovered it because you see the Chinese, they created it. It's very simple. You just look at history. I asked her.
All right then. I think we have time for one more question. I don't know. We have a lot. We've been a lot over here.
Eeny, meeny, miny, mo. Get your tiger bites.
Mr. Trump, please.
Okay, ask him.
We have a lot of.
Ask him.
Who? Okay.
What's your...
I don't know.
He
Why not
wants you to ask
you
us.
over here? 'Cause we
Okay,
have-
you right there. What's your question?
Okay, go.
Zion.
If you, well, at the beginning of this debate, you said you have taught, like the scientists have told you that the Chinese government climate thing is real. But now you are saying that you said it was real.
Well, I put 2 and 2 together because you see, you have to, when you're doing a science experiment, you have to have one thing, and then you have to back it up by evidence. And so that's my evidence that backs my information up.
My mom always told me you can't tell a person one story and then switch it up another way and tell another person a different story.
Okay.
All right then. I feel like that's enough. Although I have seen a lot of arrows pointing over here to you, if I'm not mistaken.
What did you ask?
I'll ask you your question, and I think we'll be done for the day.
Why do you think, Trump, that Mexicans always have to be like bring bad stuff into here? Because probably they might bring something that in Korea or Vietnamese needs.
All right, I hear that, but if you look at it, a lot of the stuff being brought in is bad stuff. I don't know how to say it any nicer. It's they're bringing they're criminals, and they're bringing in bad stuff. And sure, they might be bringing in good stuff with the bad stuff. I don't feel like we should have the opportunity for them to be able to bring this bad stuff if we just stop them bringing this stuff altogether.
Thank you.
All right then. That's the end. I cannot stress this enough. I know this is about the 3rd time, and you're probably getting bored of hearing. Okay, 3rd or 4th time. I don't know. Doesn't matter. I cannot stress this enough. All of the opinionated views said by these 2 actors are not their real opinions. They're all very much opinions of the actual people, and with their political views of the actual candidates. We just cannot stress enough that these actors do not believe what they've said. This is purely an actor portrayal. All of these all of the things that I've said are very much grounded into research, into very much research about the political views of each of the presidential candidates. I cannot stress it enough that these are not the opinions. These are all fact-based views from the presidential candidates. We thank you for being able to attend Turning Point Academy's actor portrayal of the first presidential debate. We thank you for being here, and we hope you have a good day.